Hey guys, it's Jen, and I just wanted to, I had mentioned that I wanted to do some additional layouts using the May Hip Kits. I was the guest designer for May, and I did 4 blog posts for them, 1 scrapbook page, and then 1 other project on each blog post. And I had tons of stuff left over, so I knew I wanted to create some other layouts using the kit, but I didn't make videos for them. So I wanted to show you all the stuff I created with the kit and what I have left over. I'm going to show you what I have left over first. I created 13 layouts with this, and my daughter also created one. So that's 14 layouts, and I still have a lot left. So let me show you what I have left first, and then I will show you the layouts. And I will go through the ones that have process videos pretty quickly, but the other ones I will show you in more detail. And then at the end, I have 4 additional layouts that are just using my stash created for different random things. So I'll show you those at the end. So this might end up being a little bit of a longer video. I hope that you'll stick with me. Or I might end up splitting it up into 2 videos. We will see. So I want to show you first what I have left over from the embellishments. So we've got a few different alphabets. I got all 4 of the kits this month, and that includes the color kit, the Project Life kit, the embellishment kit, and the main kit. And so I had them all mixed together. And that's why I had so much stuff. But even just getting the main kit, it's a lot of stuff. So, of course, I still have the stencil and the Dazzlers, the Dazzlers and the Vibes left over. That's the color kit. But I did use all 3 of those. From the alphabets that came in the main kit, I used quite a few, but I have a lot left still. You can see I still have even E's and my vowels. These puffy stickers came in the embellishment kit, and I just have 3 left. These were super cute. I loved them so much. I believe these came in the Project Life kit, and I used up 4 of the words, but I still have some left. These color beautifully, and so I will definitely be using those again. These came in, I think, the embellishment kit. I can't remember, but there's still a bunch left, but I used a whole bunch as well. These came in the Project Life kit, and I did use these alphabets on a few different projects. I used a little bit from each different alpha, so that was kind of a good thing to get used up, and I still have a ton left over. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, so this is where I kept all of my embellishments as I was working on the kit in this little container. I didn't use any of the flare, so I still have all 3 flare left. I have the bright blue and then 1 of the pink little, what are these called? You know, these plasticky, not acetate, it'll come to me. And then I did use these a few times, but there are a bunch left, and these are the Jelly Bean Soup bean board alphas, and I believe these were in the embellishment kit. I have a lot of the washi tape left over. I used this a few times, but washi tape lasts forever. I believe these were in the embellishment kit or the Project Life kit, I can't remember, but these were the Bella Boulevard hearts, and I used all of them except for 4, so you can see there that I used up most of those, as well as the, I think these are Simple Stories enamel dots, and I used a lot of these too. I cut my sheet in half, and I just have put them all on this little half sheet, and I just have a few of the teal and some of the reddish pink color, so I don't have very many left of those. I think I only used these once or twice, these adhesive sequins, and they are kind of just falling apart. This is the color that I just don't use very often, but I will put those in my stash and see if I can get those used up. I used most of the die cuts, but I do have just a few left over here. This one is cut up. 1 strip, a few little die cuts, and then the little phrase that says, "A great day." So I'll throw that into my stash. This was a cut apart sheet that I used a whole bunch of, and I just have a few pieces left from it, so I will get that put away as well. This was a huge package of Jelly Bean Soup alphabets. I think or not alphabets, little word strips. These came in the Project Life kit, I'm pretty sure. And I used a whole bunch of these, but I still have some left, so I'll just throw those in with my wood veneer. Same with this wood veneer. I think I'm going to throw this word happy away. It just looks gross. I tried to paint it and it didn't turn out, and now it's like got this thick. Anyway, I'm going to throw that away. But I still have a bunch of these left over, so I'll throw those in with my wood veneer as well. I did use some of the frames, but it comes with so many in a package that I have a ton left over. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and I think it comes with 24, so I may have used 10. And then for the cards, I didn't use a whole bunch of the cards. I used a few. And there are a bunch left, so I'll just stick these in with my Project Life card stash. I like to cut these cards up, so I did that with quite a few of them, and I probably just throw away those bits and pieces. And then we also got a package of the the Jilly Bean placemats. And it came with 6, and I used 2 of them, so I have 4 left. So that is what I have left from embellishments. So I still have a lot. I could make more layouts, and in fact I have more papers that I could have made more layouts. I just ran out of time, and so I just have a lot of stuff I've been working on. I actually made 10 layouts in the past few weeks for a class that I'm working on, so just not enough time in the day to get all of that used up, but it's going back in my stash. Let me show you what I have left of the paper. Oops. Okay, I did find one more little plus sign puffy sticker, so I have one more puffy sticker. Okay, so of the vellum, I cut into that. There's just a few little bits left here. I have some scraps of the paper. So now I had the add-on papers as well, and so I had 2 of each paper. So I did use a lot, but I have some left. A little bit of that one left over, a little bit of this one. This one I did cut into, but didn't use the whole thing. So those are all of my scraps of paper. Oh, this is a scrap as well. Now I have full sheets of paper too. So I have one left of this cup of chow that has that on the back and then the stars on one side. I have one left of this Notes from Home, which I'm super happy about because I want to use this for a background, but it didn't get a chance to in creating the layouts that I made for this time. I have one of the Healthy Hello soup, which is this one. I might end up putting this in my stash of supplies to give away because I have one of these still, and it's just not, it's cute, but it's not a paper that I need 2 of. This one I super love, and I want to use this for a background, so I will be doing that. This paper's okay, but this one I super love. So I'm excited to have one more of that. And then I have 3 sheets of cardstock. So I made a concerted effort to use some cardstock for backgrounds, which I don't usually do. I did use all of the white cardstock that came in the cardstock kit, as well as the vellum. You just saw the pieces that I had left over. So that's all I have left over. Let me show you what I created using those supplies. So I'm going to show you in order of how I created them. And maybe I'm going to show you my daughter's first. So this is the layout my daughter created. She told me that instead of printing off a picture, she was going to draw one. So this is her photo here, and she has a little arrow pointing to it. So she used one of the acrylic pieces. She used a few of my hearts and one of my little bows, and then she used this Jilly Bean soup background piece, and then just some scraps and a few enamel dots. And she wrote family with the little tiny alphabets. So that's the layout that my daughter made. So you can see kind of how many supplies that she used. Not a whole lot. This is the first layout I created. I think it was the first. No, this wasn't the first. This was the first layout that I created. And I used 3 frames here, and there's a process video for this one, so I'm not going to go super into detail. But you can see this is a pretty minimalistic layout using some white cardstock for a background, and that's a Disney layout. This one I used that fun pattern paper for a background. This is one of the papers I do not have leftovers of. I used all the bits of it. I used one for a background, and then I cut up the other one. And I really loved that paper. So there's that one with a little bit of vellum here. There's a process video on that one. This one I used this cute pattern paper for a background. I don't think I used any of this side because I just loved this yellow side so much, so for my other sheet of this paper I used this side as well. But you can see this is one of the exclusive die cuts, and then I use, or not die cuts, but like cut files. I used some of the little words and some of the sequins here, and just layered up a bunch of stuff on this one with a bunch of die cuts as well. That has a process video. This one also has a process video. It's another Disney layout, and this one I used an exclusive cut file to use as a template for some stitching. I used some puffy stickers and some exclusive die cuts and a bunch of different shapes, just kind of random stuff here. And there is a process video on this one as well. So here we come into the layouts. All of the rest of the layouts I don't have process videos for, so there's quite a lot. I'm going to go into them in a little bit of detail, but not a ton, because I don't want this layout to be 3 hours long. I think I will separate this into 2 videos, one that will have all my hip kit layouts, and then I have about 4 layouts that I'm going to show you in a different video, so I'll do those separately. But this one I wanted to challenge myself to use a colored cardstock background, and I actually really love the way it turned out. So I used that pattern paper that had the flowers and the text on it, and I used it as a whole strip, but I just kind of hand cut around the flower part and then used it as a paper strip across the layout, and I really like the way that ended up looking. These are a couple of the Project Life cards layered up, and then I have a bunch of the die cuts that I wanted to kind of mirror this floral piece that's printed onto the paper with the die cuts on this side. And then this is cut from that Jelly Bean Soup paper with all of the little 3x4 cards. So I used 3 of the cards from the Project Life kit, and then I cut this from the Jelly Bean Soup cut apart sheet. These are from my stash, and then I have a puffy sticker here, and this is from the cut apart sheet that comes in the Project Life kit, and then I used my alphas. These are the Beanboard alphas, and then these are the ones that came in the Project Life kit with just a few enamel dots here and there. So I'm happy with the way that this one turned out, and there's a little bit of vellum too. I just wanted this to not be quite so harsh. I think the yellow could be harsh, but I wanted to soften it a little bit, so that's what the vellum is doing for me there. So I'm happy with the way that one turned out. The next one I created is, it's not a Disney layout, but my daughter is wearing a Snow White costume. This was the last time she wore this handmade Snow White costume, and it kind of broke my heart, and because it was just such a pretty dress, and she wore it all the time. And so I just typed my journaling up talking about how much we loved that dress and how she dressed up as Snow White all the time. And it's kept it really simple. It's 8.5 by 11, used 4 frames, and then this one was a little bit smaller, so I just used that to put kind of my subtitle in. And then this is from those white Bella Boulevard chipboard pieces. So there's that. This is a photo of my cousin and his family, and I just layered up some, so this is just mostly cardstock, but this is a cut file that I misted with the vibes, and then I layered up some puffy stickers, and this is one of the placemats that I colored with some mist as well. And then there are a couple of hearts, and I just kind of scribbled on the background. For the very back, you can see a little bit of mixed media happening. I just used some different Tim Holtz distress inks and did the smushing technique for my background. And then these didn't come in the kit, but I added them in, and they are Tim Holtz Small Talk stickers that I really, really have been liking. And then there's a little bit of washi tape in here, and then a bunch of the different papers just kind of layered up underneath it. So that was a simple one. This one I created because, so this has hardly any paper on it, really, but I had this left over from I was getting rid of some leftover paint just on a piece of watercolor paper, and I just had this left over. I like to keep those things sometimes in case I want to use it for a layout, and I did in this case. And so this is just acrylic paint on the background that I already had just sitting in my stash, and I used it to document my love of my daughter's drawings. So I had this little photo of this snail that she drew with its eyes crossed, and it's saying "not again," and I just think it's clever and cute, and I wanted to document that. So I have just a couple of die cuts here, and then this is a 3x4 card from the Project Life kit that I journaled on, and then I layered up just a couple of pattern papers behind here. This one came from my stash, this stripe, but the other 2 came from the kit. And then I have I created a little pocket on the back where I have another just little piece of her drawings in here. So I'm not going to pull it out because it's actually kind of hard to pull out and stick back in. I need to think of something better possibly because I guess it pulls out okay. But I just used this clip from, I think it's from Freckled Fawn, to clip this on here so that you could tell that there was something to pull out. And I used a circle punch, just kind of half punched it so that you could tell that there was something to pull out. And then this is using my notebook edge punch from EK Success. And then I used a couple of the yellow hearts, and there's a blue puffy heart right there as well. And then this is some Liquitex acrylic ink that it has like a little squeeze top, and so I just sprinkled some of that on. That's very Wilma Furstenberg inspired, and I like the way that it ended up looking, and I thought that the ink splatters were great for a story about drawing. So there's that one. This is one of my not favorite ones, but it's done and I don't care. I just wanted to document the fact my daughter loves ketchup so much, and I love fry sauce. Now fry sauce is a Utah thing, but it's just ketchup and mayo mixed together, and it's better than ketchup, trust me. And so I wanted to use that green cardstock. So I just cut a little bit off of some, just for some lines here, and I layered up these two die cuts. This is pretty neutral, so I didn't really need to tie in any of the colors, I didn't feel like, but I did pull a little bit of red washi tape from my stash. And then these are just hand cut little hearts from one of the pattern papers. And then I used all of my green enamel dots and the little green plus sign. There was just a little bit of green in the kit, and so this is where it all ended up. Well, I guess a little bit of it ended up here too. So let me move these because it's hard to see the 8.5 when it's on top of all of that busyness. So this one is just a story about my daughter and how we let her put stuff on her walls, and this little cup that she pinned to the wall to put this little gooey octopus inside was hilarious, and so I wanted to document that. I wanted to really point it out by framing it, and so I did that in the photo using one of the frames, and then I just put two others on the layout, just kind of in a triangle. And I layered up just some of the papers. I did a little bit of mixed media on the background with some, what is that called? Modeling paste and a stencil. And I just mixed it with some yellow ink so that I could bring out a little bit of the yellow in these two pieces that I wanted to include here. These little leaves are from the puffy stickers. And then, like you can see, I have some enamel dots scattered around, an enamel heart. This is a puffy sticker. And then these are some of the acrylic pieces, the little triangles just to point down. I wanted to do her room today, and the word room didn't quite fit in here, and so I just added the plus sign. So it's like her room plus today equals this. It doesn't make a ton of sense, but I kind of don't care. So there is that one. I'm finding lately that if I have just a single photo, I'm really liking using a smaller format like the 8.5 by 11 to document the story. So sometimes I'll do that, and sometimes I'll use a 12 by 12. This is an instance where I used a 12 by 12. This is not my favorite layout. So one of the things I wanted to point out about this is that when I make layouts for videos for you guys, usually I'm trying to do my best work, which like I want something inspiring. I want that to display that on my YouTube channel. But with these particular layouts, it was just more about, let's find a bunch of photos that I have stories with, and let's just pair them with all of this paper that I have, and I'm not going to worry too much about it, and I'm just going to get the story down, and I'm going to have fun putting it together without worrying about anything. And these are the layouts that are a product of that, and it was just fun for me to create them. And even though they're not my favorite finished products, I'm so glad I have the stories told. And like I just said, I started with photos for each one of these. I just grabbed a pile of photos that I knew I wanted to scrapbook, and so all of these are photo-inspired layouts. And often I will do a story, like I'll start with a story and then think about what photo I can use for that story, or sometimes I'll start with a product and then think, what stories can I tell with this? That's kind of what my new class, Story Starters, is all about, and you can check that out over on my on my blog, just go to classes.craftygenscow.com and you can check that class out. It's only $10. It's really inexpensive, and I show you ways to start all those kinds of stories, but all of the ones that I did here started with a photo, and it was just kind of relaxing and fun to do. So this is a layout about how my daughter decided that she would put all of her money in this, this held nail clippers, and it was like a nail kit, and she rolled up all of her dollar bills and a $5 bill and stuck them in here and called it her wallet. And I thought it was so hilarious, and she would pull this out at the store and unroll her bills to give to the people. I just felt bad for them. Like, I felt bad that they had to unroll that and stick that in their cash drawer, but yeah, that's what happened. And so that's a story about this. I wanted to use the She Blooms paper. I hadn't used it yet, so I used it for the background. I put it in a layer, and then I also used some of the chipboard pieces, mixed it in with a couple other pattern papers. There are a couple things from my stash. This little card is from my stash, as well as some more of those Tim Holtz stickers here, and these 3 puffy stickers that are from a Dear Lizzie puffy sticker sheet. The alphabets are all from my stash as well, and it's meant to read like money, 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 money. So that's why it says money 5 times, and I just thought it was funny, and I used gold because gold reminds you of gold, which is money. And so that is that one. It's just kind of a funky little, not my favorite page, but it was fun to make, so good enough. And a fun story to document. This is another one where I was just like, let's see, what else can I do? I wanted to use up the cardstock that was in the kit, so I did a craft background, and I just layered up some papers, and my goal for this layout was to use the orange in the kit. And there's a little bit of kind of orangey colors in this food, and so I decided that this would be an okay layout to do that with. It's a little bit bright and obnoxious and in your face. This die cut isn't as much, but these orange hearts kind of are. But I went with it, and I'm fine with it. I used a little bit of washi tape on the edges. This is a really, really simple layout. It's based on one of the layouts that I did in my 6x6 Paper Pad Love little class here on YouTube, and you can find that on my YouTube channel. Just go to the 6x6 Paper Pad Love playlist, and I have a layout just like this using 6x6 paper pads. But I just ran my title up the side, and it says eat your colors, and I was talking about how it's good for us to eat colorful food, and sometimes we get in that rut of eating all orange food like mac and cheese and goldfish crackers and just like cheese, whatever. Or sometimes we get in that habit of eating all fried foods that are all brown, and that's gross, and we need to eat our colors, and so that's what I'm talking about here. So that is that layout. And I have one more. And this one is one of my favorite ones that I made, and it completely stemmed from the fact that I wanted to use these in an interesting way. So I decided to use them as a frame for the photo, and I think it turned out super cool. I did not worry about what the words said, so they're totally random. It says stuff like dog and coffee and pet and fancy and boy in these words, but that's not what it's about. You're not meant to read all of those. It's just to act as an interesting frame. And I really wanted to document this photo and call attention to it. It's not an amazing photo. It's just taken with my iPhone. You can see my iPhone in the mirror there. And I was just trying to get my daughter to take a photo with me, and I said, "Hey Mal," and she turned around, looked in the mirror, and this is what I snapped. And she just looked so grown up, and it freaked me out. So I did a long title that says, "You turned around and grew up, love." And so I used one of the wood veneer pieces to bring the wood down here for the word love, because I was originally just going to do "You turned around and grew up" with the letter stickers. But I wanted to bring some wood down here, so I added the love. And then, I don't know if you guys noticed, but these letter stickers do not stick very well. So I had been using some additional adhesive on them, but this time I decided to stitch through them, and I thought, if I'm going to stitch through these, it would be kind of cool if I just stitched all the way across and created some journaling lines for myself. So I'm going to put this on autofocus for a second so I can bring this up close so you can see that. So I just stitched journaling lines, and for each row, I just spaced them evenly, and I used my presser foot as a guide. So I would stitch this row, and then I would line the left side of my presser foot up with this line of stitching, and it would create this line. And then I just kept going all the way down the page, and I stitched through all of my words, which was perfect. And then I added the word love on top, and I added this little floral piece down here, which I actually cut so it would fit better. And these are just the chipboard pieces from the She Blooms collection, and I added a few up here on the photo, and there's also a bit of the paper around the photo. So I love the way this turned out. It's super simple, and I think I'm liking that look more and more, but I had a lot to say, and so I just wanted to get that all in there. So those are the layouts I created with the Hip Kit May kits, really. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 layouts. There's my laundry done. 13 layouts, plus one that my daughter created. Plus I created 2 cards, a little notebook thing that I can write down funny things that happened to me, and a bookmark. And so those other projects I don't have here with me because the cards got sent out, and the other things are in use. And so if you want to check those out, you can go to the Hip Kit blog and check those out. But those are the things that I created. I hope that you've enjoyed, and let me know if you have any questions about any of the layouts that I did not have process videos for. I'm happy to answer them in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and watch for I'll post these videos probably around the same time, but watch for the other video where I'm going to show you some additional layouts that I created that I haven't shared yet, and it will just be another layout share video. Thanks! See ya!